For me, there's a sort of a bone-deep kind of DNA of this thing ever since I raided my father's bookshelf back when I was a kid. This sort of tough guy material. And I had a friend, Anthony Begarosi, my writing partner. And together, the two of us just decided that there weren't enough private eye movies, not enough old-school tough guy sorts. Back in the day, you'd see Lee Marvin and John Cassavetes in this sort of thing. And so we set out to write this, sharing character. I would do one character, he'd do the other. Well, that doesn't work. You can't write a movie that way. But we did come up with something that over the years, in various iterations, managed to fail upward until we got the right actors. And 13 years later, it sort of just magically came together. The pitch consists of a man, Joel Silver. And if I can convince him, then, and he'd look at me sometimes and say, what? And I said, no, Joel. But he gets on board. He gets it. We have a similar sensibility that goes back 30 years. So even after I'd done what was a very successful film, Iron Man 3 at that time, afforded an opportunity to do something, I just went back to Joel. I went back to the well of not just private detective films, but Joel, with whom I've enjoyed both my best financial, no, that's not true, and my best creative success.
It's always fun to get to paint with different colors and to get to play these kind of roles you're not typically thin-sliced as, and to get to do it with these people. I mean, I'm essentially a fanboy who's lucky enough to be along for the ride. I mean, Shane and Joel are a huge part of my cinematic upbringing from my childhood, and to watch two of my favorite actors create this incredible symbiotic comedic performance that where one doesn't work without the other, and it's just so present and every take was different, was really just an incredible education for me.
Oh, I could have made it work with that Ryan, mate. The cool thing about working with Shane at this period of his life, when he's had, the ups and downs and the slings and arrows and all that sort of stuff, he's at a point where he really does understand that you got to trust who you hire, Now, we're both very respectful of the script and we'll do it the way it reads, but then we also bring ideas every day and say, well, what about if we move it like this and move it like that? And Shane just trusted that, we would work within the spirit of what he intended. That we wouldn't suddenly just be doing some other movie,
I just try to preside over what I perceive to be the best environment for these guys to do what they do better than anyone else in the world. And I'd be a fool. My biggest problem was trying not to crack up and ruin a take,
Ryan has a way of putting it. He said, I thought my character was called Schmuck, because that's what I heard most on the set. Because every time we'd finish a take, I'd look over to the monitors and Joel would be watching and going, what a schmuck.
We're blessed with an incredibly talented, goes without saying. I mean, just brilliant, performances from everybody. I mean, my young friend here, Russell, he was great. But the little girl, Angari, she's 15 years old now. She was 13 when made the movie. I mean, she, is incredible.
She's just this wonderful, innocent, guileless little girl. And you can't, God bless us for having found her at the time when we did. I love this idea of a sort of a landlocked, or in this case, a time-locked franchise, which means it'll never catch up to us. So the sequel would be something in the 80s that was reflective of an issue or something in that era that we could throw these guys against, up against that wall and see what sticks. I just think that's a fun idea, to do a sort of timeless private eye story that proceeds through a series of historical incidents. But no matter how many you make, you'll never quite get up to the present day.
We didn't throw everything against the wall with these characters. There's a lot yet to mine, so it could be fun.